Rising. This Rising family, I'm going live on 2 different platforms. I'm going on YouTube, Your Welding Coach, and TikTok, Your Welding Coach. And today, I wanted to talk about welding positions. As a beginner, when you're diving into welding, you really need to know the basics. There's no such thing as reinventing the wheel, family. The wheel has been rolling for a while now, so we have to keep things going. And you just need to know the basics. And you need to know uh, what you are learning as far as what you need to master in your basic program. So if you're going through a stick welding program, then you want to learn all the basics for your stick welding. If you're just going to be doing MIG welding, then you want to learn the basics from all your MIG welding. If you're going to be doing TIG welding, you want to learn the basics, fam. And I want to just keep it simple because literally that's going to be the best way to gain the information, and just to keep things simple, not to complicate it. So first off, I want to say that there's 4 different welding positions, but in piping you got an extra 2. So I'm gonna turn to the board here. We got flat, horizontal, vertical, overhead. Now, the top portion of these positions are fillet welds. These are fillet welds if it comes to doing multiple passes or one pass and some type of a joint, some type of a joint, T-joint. Now, in piping, you have an extra 2 positions. In piping, you have 5G and you have 6G. Now, I'm 6G certified AWS 6010, 7018, all the way out on schedule 80 pipe. It was a 1/2 inch pipe. And when you're doing piping, it's a lot different than when you're doing structural. But the positions tend to change. So like in piping, you're gonna be doing more of 5G, 6G majority of the time. You will have some horizontal things you'll be doing. So I say you do some horizontal because they do have it on here. You'll be doing the 1R, the 2G, the 5G, the 6G. You'll be doing that a lot when it comes to piping. Salute. Thanks for everybody for checking in. When it comes to 6G, the main thing to keep in mind when it comes to piping is that you have to have your angle of your rod just a little hair different. Your technique got to be a little different than when you're doing structural welding. But let me say this, if you are a good structural welder, you can be a good pipe welder. It's about you just learning how the dynamics of the pipe go from round to flat in structural things. But I have met many people that was great structural welders that once they dived into the pipe welding, they got it. It wasn't a big thing. So the main thing is to know your positions and also know what you're doing. Some people are learning welding to build their own things as entrepreneurs. And if that's a situation, then there's going to be different information that you'll need versus than the other person. Now you still need the basics, but you'll be operating on a different system. So I just want to keep that in mind. Salute, YouTube. Thanks for checking in. Want to make sure I lock in all my messages. I appreciate everybody for checking in. Thanks for checking in. Appreciate the support. Honestly, when you come into the 6010 1/8 inch rod, schedule 80, in my personal opinion, when you're doing pipe welding, you can, it all depends on the machine. Now let me say this, each machine is different. So I can give you a rule of thumb. So I would start it between 80 to 85 amps, depending on the machine. Because sometimes you might be on a machine that it might be set for 80 amps, but it might really be burning 85 or 90. So you might have to tweak it. So it depends on the machine. But I would say start that rod, that 1/8 inch 6010 rod out at about 80 amps. I think you'll be fine diving into it like that. I appreciate it, family. Thanks for checking in. I'm doing my best to change lives, fam. While I got the time, I wanted to just go live, answer a few questions, and just talk about the basics. So, one thing about welding in different positions. Normally, if you are a fabricator inside of a shop, normally you're gonna have things where you'll be having things set in a fixed position where you will say you'll be doing overhead flat and say vertical down. Or you might say I got everything where I'm doing vertical down and flat. Or you might have everything where you do horizontal flat because you can flip everything. So if you're not dealing with big pieces that you are fabricating, then you can flip it around and get it always in that flat, always in that horizontal, always in that comfortable position. And you don't have to try to do it uphill. You know, you don't have to try to do it overhead if you don't need to. So it's all based on what type of shop you are doing, what type of work you are doing. If you are doing structural welding, going into construction, going into the mining world and repairs, normally you're gonna have a uphill and overhead test. So normally they'll do an uphill and overhead test so it can cover you pretty much in any type of situation they tend to put the employer in, the welder in. So a lot of times they'll have you have, you know, uphill and overhead. And stick welding, family, I'm gonna have to come back. I really got an important call, fam. So I'm gonna have to end this live, fam. Y'all be blessed, continues to prosper. I'm out.